Hit it.
And the button is hit.
All right.
What's up, everybody? Welcome back to another episode of the Pit Life Barbecue podcast where we talk everything barbecue and a lot of other topics that you talk around the pit. Coming to you live from the Uncle Steve Shake Studio in Seven Large Stanley. All tuning in. We have a wonderful show coming up this evening, as long as the internet is already playing games, but we'll see what happens. So let's get into it. Tonight's show brought to you by Uncle Steve Shake. What can I say, guys? Uncle Steve is absolutely amazing. 16, 18 amazing flavors, including the sauce with no name, the original, the Gatorade, Combine, Magic, it goes on and on. What? Hey, dummy, your mic.
I know. I turned it off. I turned it off to see if that helped you. You're breaking up like a champ. So I just wanted to make sure.
All right, hang on 1 second. Tina, can you actually mute your mic?
Sure, I can.
I'm thinking it might be the speakers on her computer.
Oh, yeah. I think so.
How do I sound now?
Yeah, that changed it, actually.
All right, we might have to lower the speakers a little bit, but that's fine. We'll figure that out in a minute. But yeah, Uncle Steve, he does everything. He's mixing the shakes, bottling, packaging, labeling, shipping. He's answering the phones. He's answering the emails. He'll even get in touch with you if he has a question about your order. He wants your order to be absolutely perfect. He'll work with you to work out flavor profiles, the whole 9 yards. Yeah, there it is. That's right. The West Coast Shake, the Riverfest official shake of Riverfest.
That's right, baby.
Check Uncle Steve out at UncleSteveShake.com. Also follow along on Facebook at Uncle Steve Shake Nation. Uncle Steve Shake. Shake some on everything. Also brought to you by Joe's Meat Market, the Diamond of Roy City, Texas. Gabriel and his crew do an amazing job. The lines, the amount of proteins he has is phenomenal. Need a specific cut? He's got you covered. If you're looking for something he might not carry, he'll work with you to get it in, to get whatever dreams you're cooking up a reality. Fresh produce brought in daily. For us comp and backyarders, got us covered. Lines of rubs, sauces, seasonings, injections. The new Joe's Meat Market house line of seasonings. Smoky wood products, splits, chunks, chips, pellets, the whole 9. And while you're there, feeling a little hungry, you got you covered. Gabriel's mom is right behind the counter whipping up some of the freshest cuisine out there. So grab a plate, grab a seat, and make a new friend, make a new relationship. Talking this wonderful thing about you. If you ever in the Roy City area, swing by and tell them I sent you. And Joe's Market for the win. Tom Batch. Cmac is in there, which I don't really want to talk to him. Just what's happening. Okay. And so, guys, tonight, very exciting. An incredible woman in the barbecue world. Extremely accomplished. You know her from Netflix, Barbecue Showdown, other shows, Tina Cannon's Cooks, Big Green Egg Events, Team Big Green. So, and then, we got this other guy, Cmac. He's joining us too. But
Let's
without
go,
any
baby. Let's
further
go.
ado,
That other
ladies
guy's
and
bigger than
gentlemen,
both of us.
combined, probably, Miss Tina Cannon. Tina, how are you?
I'm good. I'm just weathering the heat and the humidity down here in Georgia.
Absolutely, absolutely. And C-Mac, how are you weathering the heat up here this week?
Well, I've been in bed for the last 3 days. I tweaked my back towards the end of last week. So today was my first time out of the house and got my back worked on a little bit and met some friends out for pizza and a couple of cold ones and got home just in time to pour myself a little tequila on the rocks and join my pearly girl and you.
Absolutely,
You were on the rocks.
absolutely.
Oh my God.
I had a
You were-
full day.
Oh, come here.
Uh-oh, what happened?
Uh-oh.
I gotta introduce you to somebody.
Uh,
Say hi, Miss Tina.
Oh.
This
Hey, cutie.
this is Maisie.
Maisie.
She's the new pup, Maisie. She'll be one on Labor Day,
Oh.
and her brother too. He's upstairs, but apparently she got loose.
uh-oh.
Or you're her person.
Oh yeah.
Well, that's
Or-
just because Mag smells like meat.
that helps, right?
Yeah. But,
I could smell a lot worse,
but don't we all?
and I have at certain points. But guys, thank you so much for taking the time to join me here this evening.
I didn't
so
even grill
see-
tonight.
Anything, I literally got out of the car, came in here, and hit the button.
Oh, really?
Little bit of traffic on the way home. I'm like, ooh, it's going to be close.
Well, you could have did it remote. Your internet might have been just as good.
It's probably a little bit better, actually.
Go down the
man.
road to the McDonald's or something and sign on to their.
Yeah.
Listen,
And this is what happened. Last week, no issues whatsoever. Not even a glitch. Now it's going to play games. It's also 100 degrees here, so that has something to do with it here. It was comfortable in the 70s last week, but at least where I do, any type of weather.
It's dropped down to the 80s here, but which is kind of crappy because it's rained so much that my pool is cooled off. And usually I swim till, easy September, through September. So I'm disappointed.
we're at about our fourth heat spell of the summer, I think.
And do you have air conditioning?
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
So you probably know I was just in the Netherlands for a couple weeks, and they had a heat wave while I was there, and it never gets that hot, but they don't have air. So you're in a house, with no air, and they have I never knew they had so many mosquitoes there. I guess because the land is so low and moist or whatever, but it was hot. Luckily, the people that hosted me had a big fan, or I would have just died.
So was it humid in the Netherlands too? Does it get humid
Yeah,
there?
it was humid and it was a lot hotter than I expected, but they were having a heat wave. It's normally not like 90 degrees there. And then it was really hot. And, again, with no air, that was like, whoo, I think I lost a couple pounds there between the heat and how busy I was and the bland food.
I bet. I know you didn't cook any bland food.
No, I didn't. No, not at all. But they don't eat spicy food over there. In a contest, which we cooked a double KCBS contest when we were there, they put, I would say, a quarter teaspoon of rub on a chicken wing.
Wow.
for competition. I was like, oh my God. And on ribs, it was just kind of nuts to see how little, even though it's KCBS, you know. And then there was 2 American judges there, and you could tell from the scores definitely which tables the American judges were at for sure, because they probably thought it was the blandest stuff. You know,
I
they
bet.
got their cooking temps and all that was great. You know, the tenderness, the texture, and all that, and the appearance. But the taste, yeah, not so good. Very bland.
Not so much.
Not
Wow,
to me,
interesting.
yeah, but you know, I eat heavily spiced food. Matter of fact, I just had posted the coffee rub recipe I make today. And a bunch of those people that were in my classes while I was in the Netherlands wrote me about I guess since it was early enough before they all went to bed, about how spicy that they thought it would be. So I told them, y'all better leave out the cayenne. Because it is a spicy one. I mean, I think I say that even in the caption, you know, you can leave that out or adjust it, you know. But I put a whole teaspoon of really hot cayenne in it because I like my spice.
Tina likes it hot.
Absolutely.
I can tell you that.
Yeah, I do.
Nothing wrong with that.
Yeah, I
No.
like spicy
Nothing
food.
wrong with that at all. So, Tina, just real quick, you know, just a little bit about how you got into cooking and barbecue and brought you to where you are now.
Well, cooking's a kind of a no-brainer because my family, everybody in the family cooks. It's kind of weird that I'm married to somebody that literally cannot boil an egg now, but my dad, my brother, my grandfather, everybody, even during the holidays, had their dishes that they made. You know, when you go to their house, you had certain expectations. So we were a cooking together family. So I think it was kind of a natural thing for me. I think my parents were surprised when I decided to go to culinary school instead of a military college, which was their plan for me, and instead moved to Europe without permission. Pretty much, I had to wait till I was 18 because I graduated high school when I was 17 to go because they weren't going to let me, and I went to culinary school in Europe, and it's a lot different than what I grew up, you know, cooking. But I'd always had um, intriguing, like love to go to really different kinds of restaurants. And when I travel with my family, so my dad and I shared going to, you know, things at the time. You didn't see Thai restaurants everywhere. You didn't even see Mexican restaurants everywhere like now. I mean, my town, I think, has 18 in my little town, you know, whereas back, you know, when I was younger, you'd have to go to the next county or a couple counties away just for Mexican food. So, you know, I always loved to try different foods. So while I lived in Europe, I think I got to taste so many cuisines, and I moved around when school was on break to work in different countries. So I got to really try different foods and became interested. Then I came back to the US, and it was, um, you know, in the 80s, and they just didn't hire women in kitchens back then,
Mhm.
at least in the South. So it was, you know, a difficult time to try to find a job. So, and ended up like washing dishes, whatever that I could do, until one particular restaurant put me on the line because the cook didn't show up. I was actually the dishwasher at this high end French restaurant, and they put me on the line. And ever since then, I was always able to get really good referrals because chefs, you can do their work is a little different than um, other jobs. You kind of, you know, when you're ready to leave a place, sometimes there's no hard feelings. You're ready to learn another cuisine or do something like that. So I struggled making sure I had really good jobs just because I was female at the time. I mean, it's just the way it was. So not like, excuse my language if mom's listening, bitching about it, but it was hard. So I constantly had to take beneath what supposable my level with was. So then I decided, okay, I'm going to go, they would say, oh, well, you have a European degree. Well, the degree I had was from a school called La Varenne, which was the first and the oldest culinary school until it sold out in the mid 90s. But so I got a U.S. degree, graduated with honors, and luckily they had a program to help me get employed with some bigger companies that actually would hire women. So I did that for several years and opened a restaurant several years ago in Florida. And I've always just loved to cook because I don't have any other talents. I love to teach cooking. So I think I'm really good at teaching. That's just my personal opinion. But and I love to share that knowledge. So and then competition was a freak thing. I used to watch the barbecue shows on TV. And then finally in 2010 I said, well, I can do that. And I paid that high rate of money to go to Myron School. That's back when maybe 9 or 10. I'd have to look at my paperwork. And I went to his school and I thought, well, I can do that. So, I basically did it out of spite at that point because the first contest I entered, I won. And that was kind of a weird fluke, which I've told in interviews before, but I had a storm at my house and they ripped part of our roof off and the people were there working on the roof. So I barbecued for the people I had a Brinkman at the time. We'd use like hotel points or credit card points to get it. And I cooked for all of them. There was like more than a dozen people there trying to get our house. It took them 3 days to get at least dried in. And the guy that was the superintendent showed up to just check on the job. And I was feeding everybody. And the entire time he told my husband, oh my God, this is so good. Remember I have a husband that can't boil an egg. Literally, he cannot. He buys pre-boiled eggs. So, that went back and forth. And finally, my husband handed me the application that he brought to me. I filled it out. We went and I won in all categories, which was kind of crazy. But that kind of gives you the bug. When you either like organize an event like Craig does or you compete, it's I think it's like adrenaline. I think like when guys play sports and things, Cmac, and that kind of you run on adrenaline, especially after you had a win.
Yep.
It kind of keeps you in it, And I think a lot of it, just every time I did well, I stayed in it, and I wasn't one to let it get me down if I didn't, walk, or get a call at a contest. So I just stayed with it. And then when I did the first TV show back in 2014, I did a show on like the Travel Channel, Discovery, called American Grilled. And I had just competed in a contest, literally in here near my home, and drove straight to Savannah where we filmed it. I had won the contest, and then I went and won the show.
All right.
So it was kind of cool, so that was the first show I did. And then I did a few others along the way, Netflix and also Barbecue Brawl and trying to think, Barbecue and one on the Country Network. And
I know that one on the Country Network was your favorite.
Yeah, that was the worst. The worst experience that I had ever had. And it was a person that was the executive producer of it was someone I competed against in barbecue, and I knew for several years, and asked me if I would be on the show for him. And I did, and they had some really, really good sponsors and people involved. And it ended up getting not handled properly. It turned out really a fiasco. So I don't promote the show or him at all. And I'm not in the contract where I can't say what I want to.
All right, yeah, because I had seen that and I saw you on that, and I think you were the one who came up with trying to get the person you were mentoring by start banging the cast iron.
Yeah. He was he's a sweet young guy, and I still talk to him often, but yeah, he wanted to do it his way, not my way. So.
Oh, that's funny.
Yeah, it was a bad production all the way around. But after you've been on like Netflix and Food Network, everything is going to suck really compared to that, or Discovery and Travel Channel,
Yeah.
they're such big companies, and they treat you very well. And, there's a lot of rules just for their staff as well as you. And the equipment was fantastic. That particular show, they didn't have stuff connected. They didn't mic you up. They forgot to turn your mic on. It was just the most unprofessional thing I think. And I have this much technical ability. Craig knows I do good just to use this phone. I think I could have done a better job in filming that show. I really do. I hate to say that, but because there was a lot of nice people involved, that I knew outside of before I knew they were on the show. One of them was Misty, Seattle's butcher's wife. And, I just love her. And then the guy that I cooked with, and Fergalicious was on there. There were some decent cooks. People that are sponsored by Royal Oak, which, have a big name. So, and then there was me, and then there was our people we were mentoring. And I was, you always hope that, if you're mentoring somebody, they get the bug to compete and, be in the world that we're in, because it is a lot of fun. And to me, cooking outside on the grill is freedom, being outside, enjoying. Luckily I live in like a, property that's beautiful. I just love being outside. If whatever's going on in your house is going on in your house, and I'm out there in my shoes yet, smelling the earth and my garden and the flowers and whatever I'm cooking. And it's just a really big release for me. Probably you too, right, Craig?
Oh yeah. Well, listen, and if the whole mentoring thing is going to be part of the show, you really kind of hope that the person that you're mentoring really kind of buys into it and tries to learn and everything. And it doesn't sound like that.
Not at all. And I hate that, because he was such a nice guy, really a nice, honest to goodness, I think a great guy. But he didn't, I guess, trust my opinion on something or whatever. My track record, though, is pretty good, so I would have thought he might have checked it out.
No, absolutely. Oh, that's interesting. That's interesting. But can we, if you don't mind, jump into the Netflix series?
Okay.
Because you were on season 1, and a friend of ours, Brother Thyron Matthews, won season 2. Now, how was obviously you had alluded that your experience with Netflix was much better than the country network.
Oh, much better,
but
yeah.
How was that whole experience, from the competitors to the filming processes, and then to have to stare down Melissa Cookson and Kevin Bledsoe?
Yeah.
And have them come at you and judge.
That was very, very intimidating. Very, very, very intimidating. Because, I've always looked up to, especially Melissa, because, I was doing something like she did, but, not as big, of course, and like she is, but I was just in awe. I'm almost still, when I talk about it, to be every day like that. And she does seem very hard. I get a lot of people say, is she mean or not? She's not. Just Myra didn't either, and people think they are. They're just, sometimes when women speak their mind or tell the truth, we're looked at a little bit differently. And that's just the way the world is, But she definitely knows her stuff, for sure. One thing that y'all may not know, and I don't think I've shared this, and I'm past my contract date, so it doesn't matter. Do you know I won nothing? No money, nothing for that show.
Nothing.
And Thyron won $50,000.
Oh.
Oh.
Did you? I don't think, Craig, you didn't know that, did you?
I didn't. I was trying to think back. Was there Yeah, did they talk about what the winner got? Was it just bragging rights for the best barbecue?
It really wasn't brought up, and I'm going to admit something that I have told people before, and people don't believe it. Craig, you'll probably believe it because you know that my technical stuff is so low. I did not know what Netflix was. I had no idea because I just have regular, basic, TV here. So I had no idea that it was a big deal. I honestly didn't. And my family did, but they didn't tell me because I was like, oh, la, 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 I'm going to go to a competition, right? But you're going to, I'm going to be gone a month, maybe a month, And then when I didn't come home, they knew I must have did good, right? So, because I still wasn't home. But, it was, I honestly did not know until I got home and my family was here and the woman who dropped me off here and, got my bags out and everything for me. And my whole family was here, and, they said I could tell my family, but, not to tell anybody that I had won because it spent a long time in editing, like over a year and a half. And so I had no idea that it was. I knew when I got there, I'm like, wow, because they had, like in the football field where they have those cameras that on the strings and they had drones filming. I mean, huge drones, like I'd say 5 feet by 5 feet, big giant. And, hundreds of people there and a full kitchen and the food was great. And so I thought, wow, is this what, what it's like? Because Travel Channel was really nice, but not on that scale. We filmed Travel Channel in less than a week. And so I had no idea until I got home. And my husband and my sister had Netflix. I still don't have it. And I guess she used her code to show me what Netflix was. I didn't know what streaming. I still don't really. No, I just watch 2-5, our local channels and, HGTV. I don't know how to do that. So I've learned that what it is now. And it was pretty amazing, after the fact when I think, wow, that I experienced all that. And they do edit the show very differently than like how things take place.
Yep.
If you're not looking at the camera and your lips are not matching what you're saying, it's a voiceover. Yeah, it is. And that I noticed a lot in the Travel Channel show, American Grilled. There was a lot of that going on because I remember, some things that happened. I'm like, I did not say that on set. So I knew then. So I knew at the very end of Netflix that when they were listening to me at all times, the bathroom, everything. Because when it was right before we went to the table at the very end, Rashid and I had went into the restroom and we were single, not like double, and I said a prayer, not real loud, but just over by the sink, just said a prayer and when I got out and they made me say, I'm the whatever I said at the end of the show, the producer, that you can't hear what they're saying goes, that prayer worked, didn't it?
No,
I was in the bathroom, the door closed, nobody in there. And, and it really wasn't like loud, like we're talking. It was just kind of, Lord be with me through, like kind of a mumbled semi out loud prayer.
Well, at least they didn't have a camera in there.
Well, who knows?
Hey, let me ask you, you touched on the editing, Tina, and you and I have had this conversation a couple of times, I think, on different events. Here's what I think would be interesting for people to kind of hear. So, these shows are reality TV, right? Which is probably, it seems like it's about 75% of TV these days. Yeah. And they can absolutely edit it and kind of portray different characters on these shows to be, they got good guys, they got bad guys, they got all that stuff.
Yeah.
So tell us a little bit about that. A, were you happy with the way that you were portrayed after when you saw everything? And B, did you kind of, was that a discussion as you guys went along with the show? Did you know how it was? Because frankly, that was my first time seeing you. And, in my mind, they really played on that, little pearly girl, almost made it seem like you weren't. I mean, now from knowing you for a while and hanging out with you, I know your resume, and so you had a huge resume, but that wasn't really a big part of you're part of that show, right? So
Right.
tell us a little bit about that whole thing. Were you aware of how it was going to look? Were you happy with the way it looked and all that good stuff?
Yeah. Well, I think some of it was me really portrayed. You've worked with me at events, Craig. I get, I can get a little squirrely, but things work out.
Yeah.
Things always work out, but I kind of think out loud. I don't have a lot of inner monologue. And I think that was portrayed. I mean, I don't like it, but that's me. You've been with me, Craig. So I think that was real. I may not liked it, but anybody that knows me more than an hour probably knows that about me. They did try to get us to bicker a little bit back and forth, and I'm not, I'm not good at that. They did not tell the history, and I don't know if this is on the show or not because I've only seen it a couple times now. We had to fill out our background. None of us, they checked out our backgrounds.
Oh, I'm sure.
And because we're on set and we have access to stuff. But Sylvie has competed for years and years. I've competed against her at World Food and everything, and I beat her. And so and I know Grubbs was actually my alternate on the show I did in 2014. So I have known him since then. We didn't know each other was going to be on the show, of course.
Mhm.
And he always has made sausage and cooked Louisiana stuff and had a big personality. Who you saw on there, it was him, 100%. I'm trying to think, some of the others that may not be their persona. I think Georgia was not, she loves to cook and she's a great cook, and she was not really truly a barbecue type cook, but she was a great cook. She's in the real estate business is what her job is now. And then I'm trying to think, Ashley was like sold cars, and he pretty much was portrayed how he was. I don't think they changed how anyone was. I think though that they tried to instigate us to bicker. And I did not know till I saw the show that Rashid, I guess, didn't care for me. I didn't know that, when they were interviewing us in the slaughterhouse is actually where we were, on this property. That I didn't realize because he said a couple things that was a little snarky, and I was like really surprised because I did not see him that way at all.
Was he snarkier? Was he snarkier than me?
Yeah. You're funny and sarcastic, but I just had no idea because he was such an. I mean, I was hurt after the show because he was a lot different than, what I had experienced.
Yeah,
but everybody else was pretty much just like they are. Boatwright was a little more quiet. He was a lot of fun, and he has a big personality. When he goes to events and stuff, but he's a real nice guy and sings. I don't think they know if they let him sing on the show or not, but he sang for us and he had a beautiful voice. Just on when you're there 20 some odd days, you with somebody, same hotel, eating together, everything, you get to know each other,
Yeah.
And the production staff was like really good. I mean, they had to keep us reeled in, because after a while, some of the people, guys, mainly getting stir crazy, wanting to go do stuff, But overall, I think it was a great experience. I don't think I gained a big following because I only have like 36,000 on Instagram and like 25 on TikTok, whereas some of the other people on the show, have over 100,000 followers and get paid
Mhm.
big time for gigs. Um, so I didn't reap the benefits of that, but it is what it is, right?
Yeah.
I'm
No,
living a happy
it absolutely.
semi-retired life, and I work when I want to, when I want to do fun events and stuff. So who really came out on top? I don't have to be in the hustle anymore.
That's
I
winning
do,
right there.
right, if I do something, like a big green egg event or go teach a school in another country or another state, it's because I want to, and it's more because I want to share knowledge of not just barbecue because I'm classically trained in 2 different culinary schools. So, I can teach all types of things. That's why I'm going to the Smoky Mountain School of Cooking in October. Yes, October for 3 days. And, we're cooking not just, all kinds of different foods. We're going to do like seafood and stuff. I did that event with Big Green Egg where we did Creole and Cajun type food, because I worked as a chef for several years in the quarter. So I have knowledge and actually subbed for somebody else was supposed to teach it and they had some family issues. I happened to be there and they said, do you know anybody that knows how to cook Cajun and Creole food? And I went, well, I do. And I go, really? It shows that they didn't even know like what my background was, because I've opened and closed some big restaurants there in New Orleans and Baton Rouge, but so I like to do the different stuff, not necessarily uh, just barbecue, because Craig, like me, you can cook. I bake biscuits on the egg. I make dessert. I do everything, because I love that peace and tranquility of out there. Because
Um,
usually it's not so quiet in my house like it is tonight.
Okay.
It's a special evening
uh,
just for you guys.
there you go.
oh, wonderful, wonderful.
I ran
Yeah, I was
everybody
gonna
out.
bring up. I was gonna bring up the Smoky Mountain School of Cooking.
Mhm.
Now, is the how'd you get involved with them? How big is the class size gonna be? And
Yeah, they're only going to allow 30 because I kind of specialize in hands-on classes, and that's really the how much space they have for 30 different
okay,
people to actually, um, do the different dishes we're going to do. And I don't think they published them yet, so I don't know if I'm supposed to say anything. So I will
understandable.
not. Hey, I think when they do, I mean, we do like breakfast, lunch, dinner. It's they call it a cooking retreat. Retreat. You stay there. We have like campfire. It's in the Smoky Mountains. It's beautiful, and the leaves will be starting changing. So it's gonna be. We got all kinds of stuff. Do a little bit of open fire. Some things in the oven. Same thing on the stove top. A little of everything. Now, when I was in Holland, we strictly did different barbecue and a lot of different barbecue side dishes. So I am still pigeonholed in that, and I still love it. So, and I haven't announced it yet, but in November, I think it's the 8th. I'll have to look at my calendar. I'm gonna have a hog class here at the house again. I usually do
Okay.
2 a year, and I typically do it in October. But this year I've changed it to a little bit later, and I'm going to do it in November. I hadn't even announced it yet. So,
All right, you heard it here first, folks. Keep an eye out for sign-ups. Matt Pereira, what's up? Wes Phillips, the People's Pitmaster, what's up,
oh,
brother?
hey, Wes.
Your neighbor.
Big Rome, what's happening? Brother Steven, I saw a whole bunch of the boys.
No
Tina,
girls?
I have to. No, so far you and Cmac are the only ones.
Uh,
Well, hold on. Maisie was here, so she counts. She
Okay.
did make an appearance, so we're good.
Yes, she did.
I just have to ask because I'm really fascinated by it because it has become your trademark, your
What?
lovely strand of pearls.
Oh, I know
How
that's
did that
hard.
come about? Is it just something you like? Is it an heirloom from your mom or your grandma that you wear, in honor of? Or is it just, I like how I look in pearls and this is my thing?
Yeah, I don't have a lot of fashion sense. Wear barbecue shirts and khakis. So pearls go with everything because I didn't get the gene that my mom and sisters that look like $1,000,000 all the time. So it kind of goes with everything. And the phrase "pearly girl" though did get coined on the Netflix show because Shotgun, the guy with the big
Mhm.
muscles like Mr. T on there,
Yeah.
he kept calling me "pearly girl." And but I mean, I've always wore them. I mean, even in high school, whatever. It's just because it goes with everything, you know. So it's no big story. Now on the Netflix show, I wore two strands that were two different colors, and that was for kind of an honor to my mom and my mother-in-law. My mother-in-law has since passed, and she never got to see the show. It was the set she had gave me when her son and I got married as a wedding gift,
Oh,
and she passed before the show aired. And the other set was ones that my mom had gave me. So I normally don't always wear two strands, but I did on that show for that reason, out of honor. Just like I know guys, y'all carry somebody lucky handkerchief or you'll wear somebody's
mhm.
hat or something like that. I mean, it's really no different for a lot of women. Ours just tend to be jewelry. And I have like cooking pearls and swimming pearls and regular pearls because certain ones they're very fragile and you don't want to
Yes.
ruin them in the pool or too much sweaty stuff. So I have other pearls that I wear for different occasions.
Okay.
When
Okay.
I won at World Food
Um,
Championships, I actually got a beautiful pearl ring. I don't have any because when I'm cooking, I don't usually have any
mhm.
rings on. But so I got to choose from a jewelry store, so I picked out some more pearl jewelry there.
Oh,
So
that's
so so Ma-
awesome.
so
I guess they
Mags,
didn't know what to give a woman that won, so they gave me a big, like several $1,000s at a jewelry store.
nothing wrong with that.
Yeah.
So
Nope.
Mags, although the pearls are her trademark, what you may not know,
Here's the
what
good
you may
stuff.
not know
Here's the good stuff.
is
Oh,
there,
she's speaking. She's speaking.
she knows where I'm going too. There is another trademark that I believe Tina has got an OnlyFans coming out because Tina is very proud of her feet. In our Big Green
Here they
Egg
are.
Instagram chat, we get pretty much daily foot pictures. So I will just let everybody know now that I have saved all those pictures and I will be selling them on Instagram. I'm going to set up my little Instagram store and selling Tina's unauthorized feet pics.
Well, if you send them to me, I'll sign them.
There you go.
Or maybe I should sell my socks, my ankle socks. That my sister jokes that I wear ankle socks all the time, and I could sell them. I don't know. What's a middle-aged lady? I actually am beyond middle-aged now, so I'm getting ready to get my check on my birthday. So, so I don't know. Maybe I should. But listen, Craig, do you know where that came from? The foot thing?
I'm not sure.
Well, I'm gonna tell you just
All
so,
right.
and maybe you could spread it with the group. That some of the group seems to have a problem with it. Back when the egg prices like went so high and during COVID, all different things. So people were making jokes about feet pic. So
Yep.
all I did is put a picture of my foot with the hashtag grocery money. Okay. That's it. So, and then I got banned from Instagram and
Oh,
TikTok for 4 months.
What?
for posting that.
I don't think I ever heard that part of
Yeah,
it.
that's the whole joke about it. So that's why. And then Shannon, fed it, joked about it, and then of course Ron, he's gonna feed into it because he and I actually, I've got pictures in my phone as of last week of his feet. So, so it became really just a joke. It's not like, and no, it's not. So now I just do it as I can't do it on our group anymore because some people, I guess, get offended by feet pictures. But 4 months out of all the stuff you see on social media, twerking in the meat department and all the stuff that you see, and I got banned for 4 months. And the thing is, I got banned for 4 months, and I had a new contract with a large company that was supposed to start, and I couldn't post.
That's
I tried to argue the point, everything, but luckily they delayed my contract with them 2 weeks, which I was able to post.
Wow.
That's where the joke of the feet pitch took place. So it was nothing other than a picture of my foot, hashtag grocery money. That was it.
That's crazy.
So it was a lot simpler than people imagine.
Some of the crazy shit on social media, and they ban that.
Yeah, and that's it. And I don't think I can make money with feet pics because I have like little Flintstone feet. So,
well, I got.
But there are people might be into that. I don't know.
There you go. Well, you brought up a certain name, and I will get myself into quite the predicament if I do not ask this question from Daddy Dutch. And this goes to both of you. Daddy Dutch is wondering if each one of you can tell an embarrassing story about our dear friend, Captain Ron.
Mags, this show isn't long enough to tell all the stories that we've got.
An embarrassing story.
But no, Kent literally messaged me yesterday afternoon and said, you need to ask this question. So he's been waiting since yesterday afternoon because he knows Ron very well. And he just wants to bust chops and have some fun with Ron.
Is Ron on here?
No. At least I haven't seen him.
Okay. I've got a few. Craig, am I going to be the one to break the ice?
Go ahead.
All right. So I was down at his house filming some videos with a company Be Unknown that we were doing them for. And we'll just leave that alone. And it was Halloween time, which is also my birthday. So Lynn, his girlfriend, decorates the house up. I mean, on every room, the bathroom, everything is decorated up. And there was a skeleton head sitting on the ground, right? Sitting on the ground. So if anybody knows Ron, they knows he has like a partial plate that he flips out. And I never really
He looks like a bad hockey player. Or a good one. I don't know.
So I took a marker and drew the teeth out and wrote Ron on it. And I thought, is he ever going to notice that while I'm here? He's ever going to notice? So he has a big fish tank, and we're both sitting there and Lynn's over here, and we all have our feet up on the table, watching TV, all barefoot, of course. And I said to him, I said, Ron, Lynn sure decorates up a lot, and she's got a good sense of humor, trying to get him to look. So about 15 minutes later, he saw it. He took a pillow and hit me across the head. Because I drew Ron and then the teeth missing. And then there's another. Oh, I got another one. So he came, and it was during the holiday time, and he and Lynn was at my house, and my mom came over. And, he's real friendly. My mom's like super friendly, and they're talking. And I guess he didn't think about it because he's not self-conscious with it in front of me. He flips that thing out because we're eating, right? We're sitting at the table. He flips that thing out. And if anybody knows my mom, she's very Southern, prim and proper. I thought, because he takes it out and sits it right. I thought my mom was just going to have a heart attack right then and there. But it was hilarious.
Oh,
But
Oh,
I guess
my
he
God.
can't eat with it when it's in, not in, when it's in. He can't eat. I don't know. Luckily, I still have my teeth. I think he's opening too many sauce tops or something. I don't know.
Yeah. Ron's got some dental issues. Let's just put it that way.
Yeah, he does.
It's like,
all right,
And
C-Mac.
perfect hair. Perfect hair.
oh yes, the guy's got the best hair. So trying to think of one that I can actually tell. So I'll tell. So we were in Ron and I were in Chicago a couple years ago, cooking with our buddy Dave, and for a little kind of a 2-night little fundraising thing that Dave had at his house. And so those that know me, I like to have a drink when I'm cooking, right? Like a lot of us.
You don't
Ron
say.
does not. Yeah, I know. Hard to believe. Ron does not drink, and a lot of times when I'm cooking, and it was hot, right? And we're cooking over a lot of our cooks were over the Art Flame, so you know how hot that gets. And so I had big bottle of green Gatorade, and I like to kind of drink about a third out of there, and then pour in some vodka. I call it Faderade. That's one of my favorite cooking drinks. I can hydrate and dehydrate at the same time, so it kind of evens out. Well, usually at my house, especially if I don't finish it or whatever, I'll get a Sharpie. I'll put an X on the top of the cap, right? So if we got multiple drinks around, my kids don't accidentally drink, the Faderade. And but at this event, I didn't even think about it. Ron was drinking Gatorade. There's my boy.
There he is.
And
There he is, Captain Ron.
And so this was purely my bad. Didn't even think about it, but I'm drinking my Faderade. Ron's got his green Gatorade. The bottles look exactly the same. Some point in the night, Ron takes a big old swig, and all of a sudden I hear this, just shooting out, near my. I'm like, what the hell happened? And he goes, Faderade. I said, oh shit.
Oh no.
Yeah, so I am solely responsible for my good friend's first alcohol that touched his lips in a long time. But the good thing was he did not swallow. It was out, and we moved on. But now I make sure that that X marks the spot.
Yeah, or peel your label off.
Yeah, something. But yes, I got Ron on the green Gatorade. What is it? It's
cucumber lime or something.
Cucumber lime, yes. And it's one of those people either love it or hate it, but is the most refreshing. I stumbled onto it down in Arizona. So anywhere there's a big Latino population, they'll have that flavor, which goes to show, Mags, it's hard as hell to find out here in New England. But I'll tell you, man, on a hot day, cold lime cucumber Gatorade, so good.
All right.
We have it here.
Do you have it down there?
Mm-hmm.
Okay. All right. Yes. My favorite.
Craig, let's pull some strings and let's get a truck rolling in up here with one.
I know.
Just like a private stash.
There's a Shaw's. There's a Shaw's in Newburyport, so not too far away from me, that regularly carries it. But I haven't seen it anywhere else. But it's good stuff. I highly recommend it.
I'm gonna have to keep an eye out on that. So there you go, Daddy Dutch. You want to?
And it does pair well. It does pair well with vodka.
All right. Len and Jeff, baseball and barbecue. What's up, boys?
Hey, y'all.
Jeff Maxwell, what's happening, brother? Tina, it's been an absolute pleasure, but I would be remiss if I didn't have you speak on your recent series, the Grill Power series.
All right. Like as far as the interview?
The interview itself, the how it came about, and you being like an inspiration to other women cooks.
You know, I'm always happy to hear that when people write me or like when dads write me and they have daughters that are getting, because we see it now. So I'm glad that I'm out there that people can see it and it's okay, to do that, which I think, that wasn't something that happened, back when I was younger. Because on my 10th birthday, I asked for a grill and luckily my dad got me one. And it was a Weber kettle. And so that was my first grill. So, and my parents never discouraged me. So I really didn't realize it was a big deal because nobody in my family, it was okay. I mean, nobody said anything about it till I got in the real world and thought, you know. So I'm actually flattered when anybody asks to interview me in a way for that reason that I can encourage, people to do it because there's nothing wrong. I mean, if you think about most households, at least traditional households, and I'm of the age of traditional household, where the woman's in the house doing everything, right? All the sides, all the macaroni, all everything, the bread, the salad, everything. And the guy's outside cooking one thing. Right. And I'm not saying that, that's his time, his peace time, like it is for me. So I think that's another reason why I like to specialize in hands-on and cooking everything on the grill. Like everything. Like when I do big green egg classes, we do appetizer, main course, 2 sides, dessert, and often a bread, all on one grill. So I think I tried to take all that negativity that I did get when I was entering the world of cooking and barbecue, and I've tried to turn it into what the negatives I had and showing that you can do it and it's okay. If you look typically even on TV, things are changing now. That you do actually see women on a grill. I think Weber was the first the first commercial I saw a couple years back of a woman grilling. You would have never seen that. So I'm happy when I can do an interview. I don't know how far and how wide it goes. I think a few people shared that for me on Instagram, to see that it's okay to do it. Maybe some other, 10-year-old girl will say, "Hey, Dad, I want a grill for my birthday." So it's more of that type of thing for me. Not that I don't think I'm sad about any of the negative experiences I've had because it made me who I am now. And that, I don't really care what people think. It took me a while, but, people that work with me, I mean, I know people that even with some of the companies you've seen me work with that didn't think that I could really cook. And there, I have ran into women through my competition life that really could not, but their image was sold that they could because they met a certain age or criteria or whatever it is that they're looking for. But I think I take joy when I cook with someone new and they realize I'm the real deal, Beautiful. And I appreciate that. And those type of articles help people see that, whether it's online or in a magazine. Because there's a European magazine while I was there, they came and took lots and lots of photos and interviewed me. And I don't have I don't even know if it's published. I think it's supposed to be published this month, and I'll get a copy. I don't know if I'll get an online copy that I can translate into English or something like that. But I was really received very well over there. But here, it's still, especially in the South, not as acceptable yet. So I'm gonna keep plugging. I probably got a good 20 years left on this earth, maybe.
Plenty of time, Tina. You'll get it done. Cmac, we have a bit of an issue here.
Listen. He
Do you want to fill him in or not?
Yes, he's having a little brain fog still from that Faderade. Apparently, I'm a little. I don't know how you feel, Johnny, but I'm a little disgusted that he obviously doesn't even remember being on Pit Life Barbecue Podcast. Come on now.
He must be too big for us.
Yeah,
for us.
I mean,
because
got a
you were
big
sitting
melon,
He's got a big head.
a huge head.
Yeah, and you were sitting.
Ron,
I'm pretty sure
you
you
know
were
I
sitting
love
right
you.
next to me.
Yeah, right.
Yeah.
It was a very
We even had a
memorable
cocktail.
experience.
We even had a cocktails with Cmac episode segment and the whole nine.
Ronald,
Yeah, this was my first time, so.
And we were gentle.
That's right.
I know. I'm waiting for all those questions that you're gonna fire at me.
I talk a big
You know
game.
he talks a big game.
Oh, yeah, obviously, yeah. Is it getting close to your bedtime, C-Man?
Oh, it's past my bedtime, Tina. You
Oh,
know
okay.
that.
That's why he's let me off easy. He told me he was going to be like 60 minutes of fire.
Oh, that's right. Listen, in about 60 seconds, I'm running upstairs and diving into bed like that.
Oh my gosh! I'm gonna turn Dexter on and watch Dexter.
Great show! Great show.
And there's Chef Johnny. Maybe it's a forgettable experience. Thanks, Chef. Appreciate you, buddy.
Chef. Probably, Chef.
So no hard questions,
Tina,
Chris?
I got nothing. We talked about the feet, you know.
Calling you out
about the juiciness of Netflix. That's it.
See, I talk so much you can't even come up with questions because I answer them all before you have time to answer. I knew you were going to throw that foot thing at me, especially after our group conversation a couple weeks ago.
Of course.
Mm-hmm. Wonder why they haven't changed the name of it. It's still called Feet Chat. So.
I know, right?
Maybe they're not as observant.
Hey, it could be worse. Just leave it there.
Okay, I'll leave it on the table. Leave it over there. I'll leave it on the floor with my feet.
Johnny, thank you for letting me join again. It's always a pleasure. Uh-oh. We almost made it through the whole thing. Look at him. Now he's frozen again.
He's frozen with a grin. A chagrin. I have no idea.
That's why phone to prove wrong. Am I good?
There you go.
You're back.
We're back.
Wrap us
I was
up.
trying to Google to see the episode Captain Ron was on. But Tina, thank you, dear. It's been an absolute pleasure. We shall do this again for sure.
You're sweet.
I suppose we'll allow this one back with us too, because you never know what's going to happen with him.
You better, because he's bigger than us.
Yeah, but go for the knees. Knees and ankles, and he's going to drop like a tree.
I'm like to his belly button.
We've got
no joke.
Tina and I have got a couple of great pictures from my first Eggtoberfest where I was on my knees and I think I was still taller than her.
And now I'm going to start shrinking. Now that I'm old, I'm going to start shrinking, so I'll even be shorter.
I'm shrinking too, baby.
So good night, C-Mac. Sleep tight.
You too, sweetie.
Don't let the bed bugs bite.
They never do.
Thank you, C-Mac. I appreciate you, brother.
Appreciate you.
Tina, like I said, thank you so much, darling. It's been an absolute honor and a privilege. Thank you.
All right. Take care, y'all.
You too. Well, that's it for this week, folks. Thank you for tuning in. Catch the video on Facebook and YouTube. Catch the audio wherever audio podcasts are found. Apple and Spotify, the two big ones. 5-star reviews. I would greatly appreciate it, folks. Get the word out. Keep growing this. Any questions or comments, please send it to pitlifebbqpodcast@gmail.com. Like always, subscribe, like, rate, and review. But yeah, working on something for next week. I'm gonna hold it a little close to the vest. We're gonna try, but yeah. Thank you guys for tuning in. We'll be posting some stuff this week, and until next week, keep the smoke rolling.
Let's go, baby.